Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome. At the beginning of the stream, we're going to start by talking about the new urn. So, what do I like about the new urn? What do I dislike about the new urn? How do I think the new urn could be improved? And maybe kind of like what's trying to speculate on what the developers like wanted out of this urn. Right? So, let me just do a few things real quick. This Jason, early stream, yeah, tournament starting pretty soon, so gotta be ready for that. This taking some screenshots because I have like an idea of how it could be reworked a little bit. Screenshot this. Okay. Okay. Right. I just need one more. Discord is extremely divided over the urn. Yeah, I mean, this urn is probably one of the most, I would say, controversial changes that they've made. Or at least, in my opinion. Let me just take a screenshot of this too. At least in my opinion, it's definitely one of the most controversial changes. Okay, let me just group and here. Okay. Good morning, Deemed Alpha. Hello. I was thinking it'd be better as a plain control point instead of having a melee. Yeah, so I don't know if plain control point like entirely solves the issue, but I've thought about a couple of things that they could do to improve it. Is the tournament cooked? I mean, depends what you mean by cooked. Cooked in the sense it's going to be super chaotic, but at the same time, you know, is it going to be fun to play? We'll see. For the players, I probably wouldn't wish it upon the players, but for the spectators, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So, yeah. Have we considered that the new urn is fun? For me, it has been the opposite of fun so far. And I'm like, I think I can't think of a lot of changes that have happened in Deadlock that I'm like, yeah, this change was terrible. Like the moment that it happened, most of the time I like look back and I'm like, okay, yeah, this was a bad idea in retrospect. But right now I'm looking at the urn and I'm like, yeah, this is not good. That's what I'm thinking. Is that objectively true? Of course, not necessarily, but yeah, okay, so let's talk about the urn for a little bit. Let's talk about the urn a little bit. Okay. All right, so one sec, actually, let me put on some music so that my Spotify wasn't working though. Maybe my Spotify isn't working. Well, we'll have to do without music. That's okay. Okay. So let's talk about urn discussion. A few things. The clay mechanics are better. The location may need some changes. Yeah, so let's start with what I like. Because, you know, let's be positive, right? What I like. Okay. How long till the tournament? I believe it starts in 40 minutes. Is it going on YouTube after? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. So let's start with what I like. So what I like about the urn, okay? I like that it's, you know, tries to be more interactive, right? Like not an instant drop off. Okay, so there's that. It's probably like incentivizes players, even lower, like even newer players, to interact with the mechanic. And I think we'll talk a little bit about like what the developers were thinking potentially, but it tries to be more interactive. It's not an instant drop off. It incentivizes players to interact with the mechanic, even newer players, right? Banger music. Absolutely banger music. Yeah, I streamed for a while. A while. The music is a banger. Let me think. What else do I like about the CERN? Gotta be positive. Oh yeah. I like, you know, picking up with melee. I like it doing more damage to the person holding it faster. Thank you for the Prime War Theft. I appreciate that. You don't like the music? Really? The music is awesome, I feel. Like the music is like probably the best part. So I like picking it up with melee. I like doing it more damage to the person holding faster. I like that it force resets after being dropped enough time, like after being ignored for long enough. So like I would say that's probably it. What do you think? Okay, so tries to be more interactive. It's not an instant drop off. It incentivizes players to interact with the mechanic. Banger music. I like picking up with melee. I like it doing more damage to the person holding it faster, so you can't hostage it as much. And I do like that it force resets after being ignored, so you don't have like those as many things of like sniping the urn as it's resetting or whatever. Although the reset is too slow. No silence. Yeah, you know what? I don't hate no silence. I think it's fine. Like you know, no silence is cool conceptually. Unsure if good for gameplay. Okay. So I think that's it for what I like so far. Maybe there's other things that I like, but we'll think about it. The person who picks up the urn can actually fight for it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like, you know, the pickup overall is better. Like picking it up with melee is like you pick it up really fast. Like it feels better. That part feels better. So now let's move on to what I don't like. Okay, so what I don't like, and then we'll talk about some potential changes that I like, or some potential changes that I would make. Okay, so what I don't like, the first thing is, it's in the mid lane, where like right above mid boss, incentivizes